What's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters, the video in which I go through and answer all of your questions and comments from last week's video, or shall I more accurately put it, last month's videos. It's becoming a bit of a trend, me starting off every video by saying that, but what can I say, it's not just because I'm busy, although that is one factor. It's, in all honesty, just because I forgot to sit down and record the next episode. It just completely slipped my mind. It was only because someone recently left a comment on the last video in this series that actually reminded me to sit down and record the next one. It just plumb slipped my mind. But over the last, I think it's nearly been a month now, a lot of comments have accumulated on the last video, so we better get this thing underway. But as always, a couple of announcements, or just one announcement to make before we get this thing started, and that is you guys have asked for it, so you have received it. And that is now for a couple of weeks there has been the Captain Dave Facebook fan page at www.facebook.com/TheCaptainofDave, or just because I am that generous, I'll put a link down in the description. So feel free to either type it in yourself or click on the link in the description. It's also in the link to every single video I ever upload, just like my Twitter. So if you want to go over there and there's just some questions that just can't wait to the Captain's Quarters, or you want to share a video, share a picture, share a link, or generally just want to have a chat with me or any other of you guys, any other subscribers, obviously you guys are all into the same stuff. So if you ever want to share stuff and just want general feedback, opinions, chats, conversations about comics, games, films, whatever, what have you, feel free to go over to the Facebook fan page, drop a like. And I don't mean that in a support me kind of way. I just mean, say you get up to date stuff with what's going on, or if you've just ever been curious as to what I get up to every day. I don't post that much, but when I do, it's normally about something that's just grind my gears normally. But yeah, feel free to go over there and just have general discussions or any questions that can't wait to the Captain's Quarters, and general good times will be had, because I know you can't quite often when you guys post me links to like the trailer for Batman Arkham Knight or for the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer or anything other recent stuff that's come up like that, whenever you put that link in the comment section, it always marks it as spam, and I have to go through the spam folder unchecking it all, so everyone can see it. So if you want to show me stuff like that, pictures, events, trailers, always good place to stick it on my Facebook, and then that way I can see it in real time, and I'm much more likely to reply sooner rather than later on Facebook, as I can reply from my phone, whereas YouTube I can't reply from my phone. So there is that. But as always, I will always do these Captain's Quarters and answer your questions here as well. So, but if you just can't wait, feel free to go to the Facebook page. But anyway, I've been rambling on about that for too long now. I've actually done this intro a few times now, because there was no way I could tell you guys about the Facebook page without sounding really egotistical. It's like, come over to my Facebook page and look at me, guys. Hear everything I have to say. It's just, there was no way I could tell you guys about it without sounding in myself really, really egotistical and snobbish. It just sounded really odd every time I tried to tell you guys about it, even though you'd asked for it. So anyway, I don't know why. I'm gonna stop rambling. Maybe I've been drinking too much coffee, he says, taking a sip. But anyway, let's get on with the first question, because as I said, there's been a lot of questions over this last month, so let's get to it, starting off with Blast Eyes. The first question is from Blast Eyes Studios. Says, have you seen the trailer of Guardians of the Galaxy, and if you have, what of your opinions? My opinions are, it looks very good. I'm one of those many people who honestly knows nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy. My friend Tommy at Geek Space, he loves Guardians of the Galaxy, and he has literally been counting down the days, and I'm not joking. I think it's for a year, or ever since they first announced it, possibly over a year. He's been counting down the days, literally every day, until this film comes out. But I personally don't know much about Guardians of the Galaxy. I believe they've remade it for like the Marvel Now series, so to get sort of more people interested in it. But from what I've seen from the trailer, film looks pretty awesome. I'm actually quite excited to be seeing it. I was gonna always see it, but I was never hugely excited for it. My ones I was looking forward to were like Days of Future Past, Spider-Man, Captain America, stuff like that were the main ones I was looking forward to. But having now seen the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm pretty pumped for it. It looks like it's going to be a really good film, especially since how I've got no prior background knowledge to it as well. Anything I see is going to be a positive. There's not going to be. I'm not going to be comparing it to a comic or thinking it needs to be of a certain standard like I do with something like Spider-Man or X-Men. I'm expecting it to be good. Guardians of the Galaxy, I've got no expectations, which is kind of like the same opinion I had when I saw the first Thor film, and I loved that because I had no expectations going in. So I'm hoping I should be just pleasantly surprised when I see Guardians of the Galaxy. Looks like it's going to be a good film. But next one is from Mr. Candyman13. Said, Spider Dave, first off, congratulations on completing the recording of ME3. Thank you very much. My questions to you so far. I have asked you this before for your ME2 walkthrough, and you chose Caden. But based on ME3 characters only, in regards to your current squad, because they are more badass than ME2. Well, I don't know about that. But if you had to choose a character to choose, to start off with, meaning that you still had a chance to become a Vanguard Renegade, who would you choose based on background story and loyalty to Shepard? Shepard is not an option. Oh, so you mean like if I had to choose a character to be instead of Shepard? Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Just out of the ME3 cast, I don't know. If I wasn't claustrophobic, I'd probably say Javik, but don't really fancy being cryogenically frozen in a tube for 50,000 years. Yes, I'm asleep, but still, wicked bad nightmares. Imagine that. You got frozen for 50,000 years and you had a glass of milk before you went to bed and you're having like crazy Prothean dreams for 50,000 years. No thanks. Who should I choose? I don't know, because to be honest, really, Mass Effect 3, it's the same, he's almost the exact same squad as Mass Effect 1. It's just you replace Rex with James, you replace Ashley with Edie, or Caden with Edie, depending on whoever you chose in Mass Effect 1. And then you just get Javik as a bonus, and other than that, you've got your exact same squad as Mass Effect 1, which was admittedly a bit of a gripe I had. But I don't know, if I had to choose anyone, obviously Caden's still there, so... Although, if any of you have watched the most recent episode of Mass Effect 3, which went live about an hour and a half ago as of recording this, I forget which part it's called, but it's called Our Spot on the Citadel. I might change my choice of choosing Caden now. But no, backstory-wise and all that, I don't know, I've always kind of liked Caden's backstory, whatever you think about him as a person. I don't know, and obviously his story and loyalty to Shepard has made me possibly want to change that, but I always like Caden's backstory, you know, a biotic kid with this rare L2 implant that causes him troubles, going through a biotic school. It's kind of X-Men-esque in a way, the fact that he's got these powers and he's trying to train to use them. I don't know, I've kind of always liked Caden's backstory, and he's trying to make something of himself, but if not Caden, then you know, it just have to be Garrus. You know, Garrus is just awesome sauce, isn't he? So yeah, I mean, obviously some of the things that happens to Caden in ME3, I'm not exactly sure if I want to be him anymore. But if you're just talking about backstory, Caden's. If you're talking about the whole thing, then Garrus. Also, you asked, is the weather still crappy out there? Actually, today was quite nice, but on the whole, yes, the weather is always crappy in England, and most parts of the southwest are still extremely flooded. And it looks like no signs of getting any better, and the government is doing absolutely nothing to help them either. So, yeah, for a portion of the country, yes, the weather is terrible. But for where I am, it's not actually too shabby at the moment. How's school going? School is intense. It's the work's piling up, but I feel like I'm really finding my stride in it, at least for now. This year 2 will might show a change, but as for now, yeah, it's going fine. I'm liking the way it's heading right now. We're sort of left to our own devices, making our 3D models, programming our games, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going pretty cool. It's going pretty cool. Arkham News Base said, thanks, Dave, for answering my question. You are the best. Thank you very much. Blast Eye Studios also asked, suddenly remembered my ideas for 2 mutants. Who could be potential X-Men? One is a hideously deformed hunchback whose mutant name would be Quasimodo, who also has super strength and healing factor, and other mutant who has the name she can see people who has no name. I thought you just missed out the name. As another mutant who has no name, she can see people's inner beauty or ugliness. Also, surely you'll have Jacob kill Ellen Cash in a kamikaze attack. Yeah, well, nice. That's just a given. I think that's actually quite a good mutant ability to see someone's like inner beauty or inner ugliness. I'm not sure if they've actually had a mutant like that. So someone could be like an absolute hero, say like Captain America, but when they looked inside his soul, he was actually a horrible, horrible person. But then he's choosing to do good stuff, and vice versa. Someone who's evil, and they look inside their heart, and they actually realise they're quite a nice person. They're just choosing to do bad for some reason. Could make a good few stories out of that, I guess. Next question was from Donald. What is with me? I can't talk recently. Donald Dimmick. What Marvel movie do you think they should come out with next? And what old school video game do you think they should remake for the new systems? Bouncing straight to that video game one, I've heard they're remaking Mass Effect for the next gen console, which, to be honest, as one of my friends said to me, it seems like a bit of a money grabbing scheme, and I kind of agree that it doesn't need to be done. I mean, what's the point in remaking the whole trilogy just for next gen? Unless they were going to actually remake the whole game, which I don't think they're doing, it will just be an improvement in quality and graphics. I don't think they need it. I kind of like how the Mass Effect 1 looks. Sort of like the old school side kind of look to it. I like that. So I don't think they should make that for next gen. Mass Effect 4 on next gen, yes, definitely. I can go into a whole lot about that later. I think somebody else actually asked me that question later on, so I'll go into that a hell of a lot later. But what old school video games do you think they should remake for the new system? I don't know. I don't really see the point in remaking an old video game, because normally when you love an old video game, a lot of it is nostalgia. And if you actually go back and play that game as an adult, it's not as good. And I think if you were to remake a game for a new system, like a next-gen console, it would be a bit sort of like, well, yeah, it looks pretty, but it's kind of taken away some of that, I don't know, rustic quality, I guess you could call it. I don't know. It's just like, it's probably a really poor example, but when you had Call of Duty World at War, that was the first one I ever played and still my favourite to this day. You had the Nazi zombie maps and all the DLC Nazi zombies maps for that, and they were fantastic. They remade them, and it was, don't get me wrong, it was a spitting image when they made it on Black Ops. They remade those zombie maps, and they were exactly the same. There was, other than maybe a glitch where you could fall through here or there, they were almost identical. But because the quality and graphics had improved by the time they got to Black Ops, even if it was only slightly, it had improved somewhat. Everything just looked slightly more polished. They still tried to make it look rustic and old, like the Nazi zombie thing, but things just, they were more polished, more fixed, more perfect, and that kind of ruined it for me, because what I loved about the Nazi zombies was the fact that because the game quality was quite old and rustic, it made the feel old and rustic, like World War II. And when they kind of polished it up a little bit for Black Ops, I just kind of felt it kind of took away. So to be honest, I don't like when old games get remaked for new systems. To a certain extent, I mean, I can obviously be proven wrong at that. At any moment, they can go ahead and remake Crash Bandicoot or Abe's Odyssey or something like that, and suddenly I'll be like, oh, gee willikers, mister, that's fantastic. Or they were to remake like Ultimate Spider-Man or actually, yeah, go on then. Ultimate Spider-Man, that could do with a remake, because that game was buggy as all hell. Also, what Marvel movie do you think they should come out with next? I don't know. If I'm being totally honest, I have not read a comic for quite some time. Quite some time. I just haven't found the time to. That Marvel graphic novel collection thing that I have going, I've got so many that are unopened right now. I've nearly completed the pack, but so many unopened just because I have not had a chance to read them, with work and recording and college work and editing and generally spending some time for myself and then playing other games as well. I've just had no time. But so I honestly can't think what film they should actually make next, to be honest. I think the path they're going now is fine. I know they're making Ant-Man, and I've heard Paul Rudd might be playing Ant-Man, which I'm really interested to see. I think he'll actually do quite a good job, and I'd love to see him in the Marvel franchise, because I do particularly love Paul Rudd as an actor. Nowhere near as good as Jason Segel, of course. That guy's just my man crush, along with Seth Rogen. If I could be a combination of Jason Segel and Seth Rogen, then, and a little bit of Paul Rudd thrown in there, yes. Perfect. But no, I think the way they're going the Marvel movies right now is perfect. I'm just so glad I live in this era right now of like cinematography and filmmaking. I'm just so glad the role that I'm this age when all these Marvel films are now coming out in this quality. I know 20 years down the line I'll probably be like, Dad, I'm blasted. I wish I was a young one now. And I don't know why my voice would be like that, because I'd only be 40 odd, but still, I'm glad that I'm in this generation, this era now, so I can see these great movies coming out. But don't Donald Dimmick also said, have you got any more tattoos? If not, what would you like to get? No, I don't have any more tattoos, other than that Spider-Man one I have on my left arm. And for if any of you haven't seen my Spider-Man tattoo, if I remember, and this is a big if I remember, I'll put a link in the description also to a video I made a couple of years ago showing my tattoo. Yeah, and if I do forget, then just go on my videos and search Spider-Man tattoo, and I'm sure it'll pop up. But no, I haven't got any anymore, purely because I cannot afford to get a tattoo. I'd love to get one, but I've got my whole life to get another one, so there's no real rush. Rent and food, I think, comes before getting myself another tattoo right now. But if I could, I always wanted, down obviously my left arm I've got Spider-Man. Originally I wanted it to go all up onto my shoulder and onto my chest. I'm kind of glad I didn't do that now, because I think I would have got a little sick with it. But it's something I thought of. I've never really decided this is exactly what I wanted to get. And I'm kind of skeptical about talking about this online now, because now anyone can nick the idea. But I kind of wanted to get the X-Men down the right side of my arm, but just have them sort of like jumping left, jumping right, kind of like they do on the front page of a comic, but right at the centre, at the bottom, down where my elbow is, I'll have Cyclops looking up with these beams shooting up the middle, and basically my whole top part of my arm will be black with all the different drawings of the X-Men stuff, but where the beam is shooting up through the middle, that'll just be clear skin going up through the centre, so if you see what I mean. So where it would normally be on the front cover of a magazine, it'd be a red beam going up the front, it'll just be, that'll be the one part of my arm that isn't tattooed, is where his lasers like shooting up through the middle. But I hadn't actually decided on that, because I thought it would actually make like this big empty patch on my arm, and it might look kind of funky. But that was something I definitely did think about getting for a while. But hey, who knows, you get older, your opinions change on stuff, so I don't know, as time's going on, I'm less and less likely to get that done. Jim Jenks said, thanks for answering my question, Dave. By the way, have you seen the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer? If so, thoughts? Yep. Sort of refer back to the other part of the video, I guess. Also, you asked if you could replace the villains. What is with me recently? I need to get my brain checked. If you could replace the villains in Amazing Spider-Man 2, how many would you have and who would you pick? This is one of those questions that's quite like the question I was asked earlier about like what Marvel movie should come out next, or if I could pick 5 villains to do this or something like that. That's one of these questions where off the top of my head I can't come up with an answer. I really can't. I need to sit down and give it some thought to give a proper legit answer. Right now I'm happy with the villains that are in Spider-Man at the moment. They could take out and replace Rhino with Doc Ock, or with the Hobgoblin, or with countless other people, but I still think it would be a good movie regardless, because Mark Webb is doing a fantastic job with this right now, in my opinion at least. I know there's obviously a lot of people who don't agree with that, but I personally think these Amazing Spider-Man films are far better in a true to the comic book kind of manner, and I know a lot of people say no, it's not, but I'm talking about if you follow Ultimate Spider-Man, and these films are bang on par, and I think this Spider-Man is more like Spider-Man than the old Spider-Man films were, if that makes any sense. But I think Mark Webb's doing an awesome job, and honestly I think you could probably replace any of the villains and it would still make for a great film. But it could be any number. You could take out anyone, replace them with someone else, and I'm sure they'll do a good job. It's just, it would be a completely separate film, if you see what I mean. So honestly, I don't know. I don't really see how, without giving it great thought and coming up with my own plot line, I couldn't just pick an answer out of thin air, unfortunately. Jim Jenks also asked one final question, Dave. Did you ever beat Pokemon, the Pokemon League in X and Y? Because if I remember, you bought one of those games. I got X yesterday and was wondering. Keep up the good work. Yes, I did beat the Pokemon League. I bought Pokemon X, and I did beat the Pokemon League. And honestly, I don't know about any of you guys who have played Pokemon. Did you find it was the easiest Pokemon League in like all Pokemon history? I don't know about you, but I was like, no matter what I've done in the Pokemon League, I normally, on the whole, beat it first time. There's been a few times, I think Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I kind of rushed through the game a little bit because I was enjoying it so much, and I didn't level up my Pokemon as much as I should, and my team wasn't that diverse. Like if they were a water type, they knew all water moves. I don't know why. I just didn't teach them like a wide variety of moves. But anyway, I got to the Pokemon. I normally beat the league, but it's like I feel like it's a struggle. I feel like I've achieved something. The Pokemon League in X and Y, I sweeped them. Like, destroyed them. I was sitting there playing it like, oh my god, I'm one-shotting your team with one Pokemon. I thought it was ridiculous. Like, I was happy. I mean, I'm glad, but partially I feel, other than the fact that two of the what are they called, the Elite Four, was it a water and a fire type? I was just like, come on, pick two types that are easier to beat. Normally the Pokemon League is like Psychic and Dark and Dragon and Ice and like the newer types of stuff. And I was really surprised there wasn't a Fairy one. Like, bear in mind that's the new thing that had been introduced. I'm quite surprised there wasn't a Fairy type gym leader. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad they mixed it up, because if the Elite Four are always like Dark, Psychic, Ghost, it gets pretty boring after a while, and you use the same Pokemon in each game to beat them. But I don't know, I thought Water and Fire are pretty easy to beat. I mean, I started off with Froakie, so, and I always have, ever since the Blue, I always keep my starter till the very end. Once I beat the Pokemon League, then I switch them out and whatnot, but I always keep my starter to the end. I don't know why, I get nostalgic for the anime, and it's just like he keeps Pikachu all the way through. I always keep my starter. I don't know why, I just do. But yeah, I got to the Fire Gym Leader, and I just swept through him with Surf on every single person. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I just found the Pokemon League so easy, and I think one of the main contributions to this was the fact that you get the experience share, but now, as opposed to before where you'd get your experience share, and either the experience points would be split and go to whoever else was wearing the experience share, now you just turn experience share on and it goes to all of your Pokemon in your party, like absolutely every single one of them. But instead of splitting the experience points gained and dividing it out to all your Pokemon, it gives every single one of those Pokemon the full experience points, or at least that's what I took away from it. That's what it looks like it was happening to me, because I'd go through like one route and all of my Pokemon had gone up by about 5 levels. Where normally in that time maybe one had gone up by about 2 and one had gone up by about 3, or it was evened out 1 on everyone or something like that. So by the time I got to the Elite Four, my Pokemon were like 10-15 levels higher than everyone, and then when I got to the Champion, I was still a couple of levels higher than the Champion. Normally when I'm doing the Elite Four, I get to the Champion, and my Pokemon's about 5, 6, 7 levels below it, and that's why it's a real struggle. You feel like you've really achieved something, but I didn't need any revives, I didn't need barely any potions. It's just, I absolutely swept them. I got to the end and I was just like, wow, okay, well, I just shit on the Kalos region. But no, it was, yeah, I beat the Elite Four a long time ago, not that long after actually getting the game, obviously, because you sit there and you just go full hog into the game. But no, I've got to admit though, I've thoroughly enjoyed the game, still playing it to this day. I finally completed my set of 6 shinies. It was I think a shiny Dratini. These are not, by the way, what I chose to get. These are just ones I've randomly come across through methods or randomly finding in the wild. So these aren't the 6 I chose. These are just the first 6 I got. But it was a shiny Dratini, shiny Pidgey. What else did I have? A shiny Nosepass. That was the last one I got. That was pure random. Shiny Clauncher. Shiny. What else have I got in my team? I'm completely forgetting. Shiny Poliwag. What's the last one? Why am I forgetting who the last one is? Oh yeah, the shiny Gyarados you get back in like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I just needed something to fill up my team and I couldn't be bothered to look for shinies anymore. But yeah, so I'm still playing it to this day, and I do think it's a good game. I'm looking forward to whether it's going to be X and Y2 or probably Z, I'm guessing, because like you had Gold and Silver and then Crystal, and I'm expecting the next one's probably going to be Z or something like that. But yeah, looking forward to it. Hopefully the Pokemon League might be a little bit more difficult this time. And lastly, 3 words: we want Fallout. Yes, I know, and trust me, with each day, the urge to record more of it is growing. Trust me, I think within the year it might actually be happening. Can't guarantee it, but it might. But anyway, I'm spending a lot of time on these questions. I need to get this thing moving along a bit. Charles Taylor Coe said, "Hey Cap, can't wait for the rest of ME3 and the beginning of Arkham Origins." Well, obviously by this point we're well into Arkham Origins. My question is, would you rather have Mass Effect have a Mass Effect / Ultimate Alliance style game where you can be an actual character in the Mass Effect universe, in the Marvel universe, or a Mass Effect like game where you can create and customize your own hero in the Marvel universe? I don't know, I like character customization. I like when you can create your own character and make it your own person, but then at the same time that limits functions in the game. Like, 'cause I know in Mass Effect you can create your own character, but by giving him a backstory, like a preset out of 3 backstories, and you have to click like 1 out of the 3, and you can change their appearance, but their last name is always Shepard. It creates more interaction, I feel, throughout the game, because people can call out your name, stuff can happen according to your past, wherever, if it's a game where you can completely create your whole character from scratch, your character can never really interact or relate to anything that's actually happening in the game, because obviously it's not coded into the game, it's just something you've made up in your own head. So I don't know, I like character customization, but I think when a push comes to shove, I like the fact where you can customize your character, but they have like a preset history or a preset story. Even if you get to pick one of them, you have to pick one of them. But I just like the fact when it actually interacts with the game more, because if you sit there and go, oh, my character's, say, like a Nord or a Mage, and he came from this place and he came from that place, but that's the stuff you're saying, it's not stuff you've actually picked in the game, then it can never actually interact, if you see what I mean. But let me give that question a quick read again, just make sure I actually answered it properly. Oh, I don't think I did actually answer that quite correctly, did you? An actual character in the Marvel Universe, or a Mass Effect game where you can create and customize your own hero in the Marvel. Yeah, so basically I'd have like a Mass Effect-like game where you customize your own character in the Marvel Universe, as opposed to making your own one, so yeah. And you also said, hope I get my check from BioWare. Well, yeah, I think it's a good idea, they should run with it. Frank Garbo said, let's do a Let's Play of Walking Dead by Telltale. Dave, you'll love the story, it's amazing, my friend. Yes, I have already done a walkthrough of The Walking Dead, and it was amazing. I loved the story, and I will, as soon as possible, try and do Walking Dead Season 2 and 400 days and all that sort of stuff. But it sounds silly because I know it's not expensive, but money is so seriously an issue and so tight with me right now. I can't even afford to spend like £3 or £4 unless it's on food or rent. Money is that tight with me at the moment, so it might sound silly. No, I can't afford like a £5 game, but trust me, I really can't. It's life is hard. Life is hard. But Mission Unstoppable said, hey Dave, thanks for answering my questions. I replied to you and put the link below. How do you think it would be? How do you think it would be if they make a Lego ME game? I personally think it would be hilarious. What do you think? Yeah, I think it'd be quite funny. I think, to be honest, any game when they make a Lego version of it. I've only played a few. I've never really fully gone through and completed a Lego game as of yet. I still haven't completed Marvel Lego yet because I've been recording Batman. But yeah, I think, to be honest, the team who make the Lego games, they do a great job. Whenever they make a Lego game, it's just pure hilarity. And I think it's because they almost make like a spoof version. I think that's why. And you got to think the amounts of memes and the amounts of inside jokes they have in Mass Effect, and the amount of stories they can draw from. I think they could make quite a few good Lego Mass Effect games, actually. And also that the link you put down below, I'm not sure if I actually replied in the comment or I was going to wait until this video to do it, but that was where you said about me taking a picture of someone in the Amazing Spider-Man walkthrough and laughing at him. I'm not sure what you thought I meant by it, but I honestly just took a picture of him because the guy looked really funny. That was that was the only. There's no hidden meaning to it or anything like that. I literally took a picture of that random guy because I thought his face looked funny. And it just made me chuckle to take a picture of his face, because I think it was like the way he was waving and the way he ran up to me or something. I found it fun just to take a picture and mock him, to be honest. But no, there's no hidden meaning behind it. Vladax94 said, yo Dave, hello again. This Wednesday, 19th of February, was nervous on me because I had to repass an exam of translation theory, and I did, yay to me. Still back to the questions. Well, before the questions, congratulations on passing your exam, by the way. Obviously, that was the 19th of February, and this is now the 8th of March, so I'm very late with this. But congratulations on passing your exam. Well done. But back to the questions. Number 1. First of all, what was your reaction when Little Mac was announced as a new character for Smash Bros? Have never played Smash Bros, and I don't know who Little Mac is, so unfortunately I can't answer that question. Number 2, will you play Strider 2014? Please play it. Believe me, you will not be disappointed. I don't know what Strider 2014 is either. Sorry. I'm really out of the loop when it comes to new stuff. A lot of people go, "Oh, have you seen this? Have you seen that? This game looks awesome." And honestly, I don't know where people find out all this stuff, because until you guys tell me, I never know what anything is. So, unfortunately, I don't know what Strider 2014 is, but I probably won't have time to play it. As I said, I haven't played through Marvel Lego Heroes yet. I still haven't even opened Beyond Two Souls, which I've been talking about forever. Over a year and 3 months ago, I got Saints Row the 3rd, and I haven't even opened it yet. I just don't have time to play them. So, unfortunately, I probably won't be playing Strider 2014. Will you play Metal Gear Rising Revenge? Again, probably not. It's not really a game I've ever watched. I'm not really too interested in it. So, unfortunately, I'm answering all these questions with no's. I can only apologise. How are things in England? I mean, all the floods and everything. Yeah, well, as I said earlier, there's a lot of places, especially in the southwest, really struggling with the floods. It's ridiculous how the flood water's still high, and that I know of, nothing is really being done. Obviously some stuff is being done, but I don't live in that area, so I haven't been following the news too well. So I think anything I do really say on the subject would be a bit ignorant, and sort of I'll be saying stuff without getting all my facts straight. But from what I've seen from the news, it looks like things are still terrible down there in the southwest. So just, I'm sorry to everyone living down there. So I wish the situation could get better for you sooner, and I'm just kind of glad that I don't live there, to be honest. Also, thank you for shouting yo video games. Oh, and by the way, you did it just right, just the way I wished. Oh, well, you're welcome. Demonish Josh said, have you tried the High Moon Transformers game? They're amazing. No, I haven't, but a friend of mine absolutely loved those games about a year or so ago, so I heard they are actually pretty good. And 2, have you ever been into anime? If so, list the best. No, I've never been into anime. The only sort of anime I've ever really watched would be Pokemon, to be honest with you. If that counts as proper anime. I don't know if there's like a list of what's true anime and fake anime and manga and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know the difference between the different lists and stuff. The only sort of cartoon-like anime thing I've been into is Pokemon. And a little bit of Digimon when I was younger, but... Demonist Josh also said, if the squad mates from Mass Effect 3 broke off on different paths, who would you pick for a mentor in Mass Effect 4 if it was not predetermined by your choice of race? Garrus, I think, would be an awesome mentor. He's been through all 3 games with Shepard. He would be perfect to mentor somebody else, and obviously there would be a cool story there to it as well, because he's had a squad before who all died back on Omega, so he'd be conflicted whether he wants to take someone under his wing, but then at the same time he'd kind of want to pass on the knowledge and everything he's learned being with Shepard, and he would kind of want to replicate all the good that Shepard done. So I think Garrus would be a perfect squad mate. He's had the most experience, I think, out of everyone. He'd be the perfect person for a mentor. If not, possibly Liara could be quite good, being oh, actually, no, I was going to say Liara would be quite good, but she's been, no, obviously the Shadow Broker and stuff like that. I can't really see how you'd be able to mentor someone who is also a Shadow Broker. You know, it wouldn't quite work. But Kaidan, I think, would be quite good. I always imagined, like, if anyone was to take over the Normandy after Shepard died, it would be someone like Kaidan. I could... Garrus could, potentially, I suppose. But, yeah, I don't know. Probably Garrus, I think, would be the best choice. I think he's always been a bit of an authority figure to anyone who wasn't Shepard anyway, so... Plus his old CSEC days, and he had his own squad. I don't know, yeah, Garrus. Garrus is my pick for that. Jack Corson said, Dave, are you American? Nope, I am English. Just watched too much American TV growing up, and I think I developed a slight accent from it. Yusuf Yasir said, hi Dave, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. Crash Bandicoot Mind Over Mutant isn't PS1 or PS2, it's PS3. Oh, really? I've never even heard of it before. Also, I have 3 questions for you. Number 1, can you play DC Universe online? That's something I've been asked many times in the past before, and I've heard apparently it's a really good game, but with a game like that, you need to really invest well, I feel if you want to actually do good at it, you need to invest a lot of time in it, and I don't have a lot of time, other than like Mass Effect, where I really got into that. That's like one of the same things when people say, can I play Dragon Age? I really want to, but I feel like you need to invest a lot of time into a game like that, and unfortunately at this point I don't have a lot of time. Over the summer, possibly I might have a bit more free time then, because I break up from a university in May. So, but as of right now, I barely have time to record Arkham Origins, so 2, if you had all the power in the world, would you use it for good or evil, and be honest? Now, it might sound like this is one of the sort of those answers that people say, but they don't really mean it. But honestly, I'd be good. I really would. It's just it's not just me saying that to be like, yeah, I'll be a superhero. Yeah, I'm not just saying it to say it. I honestly would be. I don't know. I don't know how to answer it, really. I think that's why I like superhero stuff and I like comics and that sort of stuff, because I honestly would. If I had the power to stop people just with my mind, I wouldn't use it to get money and just be la-di-da-di-da. Obviously, I would do certain things to make my life better. I mean, that goes without saying. Like, if you're about to get hit by a car, I wouldn't still let myself get hit by a car. I'd do stuff to help myself out, but at the same time, yeah, I would be good. I would try and set wrongs right, and I wouldn't be in it for the glory. I think as soon as I let anyone know that I had all this power, I think things would just kind of go tits up a little bit, and you wouldn't be able to live a normal life after that. So I honestly think I would be good. I know there's plenty of people that have asked in the past, and they've been completely honest and said, no, I'd be evil. If I had all that power, I'd make everything my own, and it's just something I wouldn't do. I don't know why. It's just there's something like fundamentally inside of me that I see people doing stuff wrong. Even like in the real world now, it could be the simplest of rules. Like, I don't know, just people like skipping queues, or just trying to get out of paying just a couple of pennies for stuff, or moaning when somebody gets away with something, yet they want other people to look the other way for them, if you see what I mean. Like, sort of like, it's alright for them to do stuff, but if somebody else does it, they get angry. And it's just stuff like that gets to me. It really winds me up. I think, no, if everyone played by the rules, then the world would actually work a hell of a lot better. But the reason why stuff goes wrong, the reason why we have so much crap in the world, is because loads of people out there feel if it's just them doing it, it's not bad. But then if half the population is thinking it's just them doing it, then that's half the world just looking out for themselves, and it's just the other half that are actually trying to make the world a better place. But I've kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent. I didn't mean to, but no, honestly, all like hand on heart, honestly, I would use it for good. Unless this actually happened and I became evil, and then I'd be very shocked in myself. But but no, hand on heart, I would use it for good. And number 3, can you play Red Dead Redemption? You know, that's a game I've never completed. I've started playing that twice, and everyone tells me the ending to that game is so fantastic, but I don't know what it is. I start playing it, and then I just get distracted and I stop playing it. I don't know why, because it's a good game. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever do a walkthrough of it, though, to be honest. I think years ago, like when I first started my channel, I started a walkthrough of it. Never actually uploaded any of it. I think I recorded like 1 or 2 episodes, and I wasn't happy with my recording of it. I didn't think I was going to do the game justice, and to be honest, I felt I would have got really sick of the game before I had finished it, if you see what I mean. So maybe in the distant future, but I honestly can't see myself ever actually doing a walkthrough of it. Yusuf, you see it, also ask, Dave, I have 1 brother and 2 sisters. I'm the eldest, and my bro is the youngest. And we had a pet cat named Ginger. And yes, he was Ginger, but he died because he got run over by a truck when he was only 5. Oh, the same thing happened to one of my cats, actually, when he was younger. Obviously, not alive anymore. If Edge of Time is made before Amazing Spider-Man, then how come Edge of Time has better graphics than Amazing Spider-Man? I don't think that's necessarily true. And also, I don't know, actually, yeah, they're both made by Beanox as well, I think. Amazing Spider-Man was made by Beanox, wasn't it? Pretty certain it was. But I don't think that's necessarily true. I thought the graphics in Amazing Spider-Man were pretty good. I think it was just... I think if anything, it was because Amazing Spider-Man was like a real world based thing. So you were going around everywhere, and they had a lot of wider scale. They had to make why can't I speak? They had to texture basically all of New York, and they had to make it all look good. Whereas in Edge of Time, you only had the room he was in, so they could put a lot more effort and a lot more detail into it. And I think that's one of the reasons. Obviously, that's not giving them an excuse. If they're making that game, they should actually go the full hog. They shouldn't make that game unless they think they can do it right. So it's not me necessarily giving them an excuse. But, all honesty, I thought the graphics were, I don't know, pretty much the same, to be honest. I thought they were alright. Although, I do believe, didn't Edge of Time have quite a few cutscenes? Whereas, I think Amazing Spider-Man, all the cutscenes were actually like in-game animations. I don't think there was actually any cutscenes necessarily. No, there were one or two, but quite a lot of the time they used just the in-game graphics as part of the cutscenes. So I think that might be why maybe Edge of Time looked better. But maybe it's just because Edge of Time was a lot brighter, you know, with all the future and past stuff. But I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say the graphics were better than Amazing Spider-Man, but visually, Edge of Time did actually look quite impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Riker Jeffrey said, "Do you think there will ever be a Batman Arkham 4?" Well, as Gareth Vicarian answered that comment as of about 2 or 3 days ago, there is. It is made by Rockstar. I think it's Rocksteady, isn't it? Who's making it? I thought Rocksteady came back to make it. I don't know. Maybe I read that wrong. It's called Batman Arkham Knight. It's for the next gen console and PC only, and it's coming out October 14th, 2014. And these 5 words will make you want to buy it, and they are: you can drive the Batmobile. Which is weird. It's so weird. I don't know if I've actually uploaded the episode yet, but there is a point in Arkham Origins, I think I might have already uploaded it, where I'm in the Batcave and I look at him where he's creating the Batmobile, and I said, like, how cool would it be if they actually made a game where you could drive the Batmobile? And then this trailer comes out, which looks absolutely beautiful, by the way, and you can drive the Batmobile. So, you guys, oh sorry, I was just choking a little bit then. You guys always said, was I ever going to buy like an Xbox One or a PS4? And I said no, I never would until a game come out that I actually wanted to play. And I think either Mass Effect 4 or Batman Arkham 4, more likely Batman Arkham 4, because it's obviously coming out sooner, would be that game that would make me get a next-gen console. What console I'm going to get, don't know. And also, with regards to am I going to do a walkthrough of Batman Arkham Knight, yes, I will, obviously, because I've done the other 3. There would be no reason why I wouldn't do one for Arkham Knight as well. The only issue being, of course, it means I have to buy myself a next-gen console first. And as I was saying previously, with how little money I have, can't guarantee I'll be able to do that by October 14th. And even then, I don't know when the walkthrough would come out. So I will do one of Arkham Knight, but I cannot guarantee it will be around about the same time as release date. Depends whether I can save up money to buy myself a console. And I'm not sure if that'll be a thing that happens, so we'll have to wait and see. AJ Singh said, "Dave, what movies are you waiting to come out, and what do you think about Batman vs Superman?" I've answered the one about the movies coming out many times before in the past. Spider-Man, X-Men, Days of Future Past. X-Men, Days of Future Past is the same bling film. Yeah, Spider-Man, X-Men, Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy. All those sort of films are the ones I'm looking forward to. And what do I think of Batman vs Superman? Honestly, I've got no opinions. I haven't really about any DC films. I just go and I watch them and I enjoy, to be honest. And a lot of people are saying about Ben Affleck playing Batman and how it's going to really suck and stuff like that. And I mean, if you're basing it off his performance in Daredevil, then I don't blame you for thinking that. But I think right now, with how much focus and how much money is being made off superhero films, they wouldn't get someone to play Batman, one of, let's face it, DC's biggest selling franchise movie-wise right now, and even in the past. I don't think they would get someone to play Batman unless they knew without a doubt he was right for the part. I mean, there's a quote I saw online somewhere which I think perfectly sums it up. Everyone's saying right now that Ben Affleck is going to suck as Batman, but I saw a quote that someone posted relating to this, that way back when, before the second Batman film come out, there was a post saying so far they'd been really impressed with Batman Begins and all that sort of stuff. No, obviously I'm paraphrasing here, but then he said that I think they've hit their first snag in hiring Heath Ledger to play the Joker. I am a fan of Heath Ledger, but him playing the Joker, I honestly feel will kill the movie. That was, obviously I'm paraphrasing, that was the basic gist of the quote. Then, of course, the film comes out, and everyone is praising Heath Ledger as the best Joker ever, the best actor ever. This film was amazing, you can't top this film. So all the naysayers about Heath Ledger playing the Joker were completely blown out the water when that film came out. And I'm going to go into this film thinking the same thing about Ben Affleck. Honestly, this is one of their biggest selling franchises right now, the Batman films. And the last Superman film, Man of Steel, I think is really one of their only successful Superman films. I know Tommy at Geekspace would agree with me on that heavily. It's one of their only successful Superman films. So if they're making Batman vs Superman, this is potentially going to be like their Avengers. so to say, and I don't mean across sort of like DC and Marvel over here, because that normally starts a lot of wars, but I'm just trying to say a comparison. Like, Avengers was Marvel's big go for it film, and I feel that's what, unless they ever bring out a Justice League, I feel that's what Batman vs Superman is going to be. So I don't think they would cast Ben Affleck unless they knew for a fact that it was going to be good, and I'm trusting that they've done that. Mark my words, the film comes out and it absolutely sucks, and it turns out they're just morons who hired Ben Affleck for no reason. Who knows, but I believe that they know what they're doing. Immortal94 said, "Hey Dave, you said that you don't really like crossovers, but what do you think of the crossover that Spider-Man and Batman had in the comics? By the way, love your videos, keep up the good work." Thank you very much. And I don't know, I didn't really read the crossover between Spider-Man and Batman in the comics, probably because I don't like crossovers. But yeah, I didn't really read it, so if you want to give me your opinions on it, if you felt it was good or particularly interesting. I can see one thing Spider-Man and Batman would probably have in common, is the fact that, obviously I don't know really too much about the DC universe, but from what I've learned from playing the Arkham games, it seems like Batman has the most amount of enemies out of the main, like, Justice League DC characters, and I think that goes for the same with Spider-Man. Out of everyone in Marvel, I don't think anyone has as many enemies as Spider-Man does. So I can see why Spider-Man and Batman would have a good crossover in that sense, that they both have such a huge list of iconic enemies. Green Goblin, Venom, Carnage, Dr. Octopus, Rhino, and then you got Batman, Joker, Two-Face, Penguin. There's so many iconic lists on both sides. I can see how the crossover would probably be good. But I'm Patriot59 said, "Hey Dave, did you hear about the Walking Dead Season 2 game? And if so, are you going to play it?" Yeah, like I said earlier, I would love to play that game. It's just, it's all about the money, unfortunately. As soon as I can afford to actually spend some money out on myself, oh, there's plenty of things I want to get. So many things I want to get. But it's all about whenever I can actually afford to spend some money on stuff that isn't bills. But yeah, as soon as I get that game, there'll be a walkthrough of it. You mark my words. Alexander said, "Hey Dave, thank you so much for part 1 of Arkham Origins. You're welcome. I'm glad I finally got it to you guys. It took way too long. It took way too long. Seeing that and hearing 1,000 Fists of Fury and Death from Above again." You made me the happiest guy on earth by watching that video. I was also whooping for joy when you started the video off. Thank you so much. Oh, as I say, you're most welcome. You guys waited a very long time. I mean, what did that game come out in October or November? And it was only February I actually started uploading the videos eventually. So thank you guys for being patient, I guess. Peter Moore said, "In a conversation between Spider-Man, Juggernaut, Batman, Deadpool, and you, oh no, and me. No, I'm not in the conversation. In a conversation between Spider-Man, Juggernaut, Batman, and Deadpool, who would you want to voice yourself, and what would the conversation topic be?" So basically, who would I want to voice? I don't know. You got to feel that each one of them has qualities. I mean, Spider-Man's awesome. He's got his cool quips and his cool lines, and he adds probably quite some emotional bits. So it'd be quite fun to do. Juggernaut is just pure hilarity, I feel. Anything he says, it would just be kind of, just taking the mick. One of those, like, I love myself bad guys kind of people, and you know how much I love them. Batman, it would just be me saying everything in a voice like this, and just because I'm Batman. It would just be funny. And you know, Deadpool obviously be good, but if I had to pick, I don't know, probably Juggernaut. I think, like, seriously, if I was using just my own voice, then I'd probably choose Spider-Man. But if I'm putting on a silly voice, then I'd probably choose Juggernaut. And I don't know what the topic would be. The topic would probably be why are these four stuck together and how they're going to solve the situation. Well, actually, no, if it's them four together, it'd probably be the topic of Spider-Man, Juggernaut, and Deadpool asking who the hell Batman is. And probably Deadpool would actually probably be able to answer that question. But Captain Junior asked, "Hey Dave, what did you think of my channel? And thank you for checking it out if you did." Yeah, I did actually go check it out. Thoughts on it? I suppose there's not really two things I can say at the moment because you're just getting started at the moment. I noticed you had like a couple of vlogs. And wait, did I see a video or something? It's been like, it was the last Captain's Quarters I checked it out, so I'm trying to cast my mind back to a month ago. But I saw you did a couple of vlogs with your friends, and I think you did start a bit of Batman, I believe, as well. Arkham Asylum. So yeah, just keep up the good work, my mate. If you are enjoying it, you seem like you're having a good time at least, so just keep up doing it, if that's the sort of thing you're enjoying doing. So, but yeah, as I say, you're just getting started at the moment, so the YouTube world is your oyster at the moment. Question 1. Will you ever play a game called The Last of Us for PS3, hopefully? Last of Us, it was one of those things I saw a walkthrough online, and after episode 1, I stopped watching it because I wanted to play the game myself. And then, just like with many games, I did not get around to getting it, and I could not afford to get it at the time. So, it's one of the thousands of games that is on my to-do list of stuff I want to play. Question 2, when will you do any more playthroughs for PS3? Probably if I ever pick up Fallout New Vegas again, because obviously I've got that for PS3. So that would be why. Beyond Two Souls, I said if I played that and enjoyed it, that would be a PS3 walkthrough, obviously, because that's PS3 exclusive. So, yeah, looking at my collection, I think that's pretty much it, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, any future games, unless they're PS3 exclusive, I tend to get them on Xbox now, and that's just mainly because my friends are on Xbox. And I've kind of just got used to the whole frame of Xbox. All my recording equipment is set up for Xbox now, so PS3 games will probably be Fallout if I ever do Beyond Two Souls, to be honest. But as I say, it doesn't really matter what I play on, unless it's exclusive to PS3 or Xbox. Does it really matter? The controls are still exactly the same. They've just got a different colour sticker or whatever on the button, so it really doesn't matter what console I play on. And question 3, when you watch one of my videos, can you leave a comment and tell me what you think? As I say, I watched it quite a while ago, so if I remember to track it down at the end of this video, I will do so. But as I say, I'm a very busy man. Unfortunately, I can't do that to absolutely everyone. Of course, if I do it for one, everyone else is going to also ask me to do the same thing. But at the end of this video, if I remember to, I will. And if I don't, then I can only apologise. You know what my memory can be like. And if you do, thank you so much, Captain Jr. Also, Captain Jr. asked, I have 3 words for you, best YouTuber ever. Oh, well, thank you very much. Jimmy Rivera, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Well, maybe I have, and I've just noticed it for the first time, but I felt like I haven't called out your name in a while. Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, and who is your favourite member? Mine is Groot, and have a great day. Yeah, Groot's quite cool, and also, I didn't realise that Groot was being played by Vin Diesel. I didn't see that one coming. I thought that was pretty cool. And also that Rocket Raccoon's being voiced by Bradley Cooper as well. Funny. But I'm quite interested to see how Batista's going to do as an actual actor. I don't know if he's been in other films before. I think he probably has. But this is the first film I've seen him in, and it's going to be like his first major like Marvel film. So I think they're, I don't know, obviously I trust that he's going to do a good job, as Marvel wouldn't have hired him for it. And obviously I'm assuming they're going to go out with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 if this one's successful. So he will need to come back and record and act and return for that one as well. So obviously for someone who puts his body on the line wrestling as a career, they're taking quite a risk, I think, taking him as an actor for a potentially quite a big franchise. But I'm interested to see how Batista's going to do in it. But looking at them all right now, favourite character, I don't know, it probably will have to be a mixture between, I don't know, I've got a feeling the Rocket Raccoon might get on my nerves, but I don't know the characters really, so I'm basing this just on appearance. The main guy looks pretty cool. He looks like he's going to be pretty funny. I like heroes who aren't always saving the day, you know, who aren't just, I'm the best. Sometimes I like it when a hero just gets their ass kicked because they weren't best in the fight and they were maybe a bit too cocky or something like that. I don't know. I kind of like it sometimes when heroes just aren't the absolute best ever and they aren't all powerful. But I don't know. Groot does look pretty awesome. I'm kind of curious how Batista's going to turn out. So, Mega Silver 117 said, "Hey Dave, what do you think of Killer Croc's new look? I think the new look is better than Arkham Asylum City. Look that he had. I mean, look at him. He was freaking huge in the first 2. I like the look he has in Origins as well. I agree. I like this new way that he looks. It's kind of reminiscent, and a lot of DC fans are going to go, "Oh no, don't compare the 2." But I kind of think it's reminiscent of how oh, what's his name? Kurt Connors looked in Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, why can't I think of his name? It's not. Oh, all I can think is Killer Croc now. But yeah, the lizard. Oh yeah, I think it. But yeah, it's kind of like how Kurt Connors looked. How instead of having like the pointy like rectangular sort of snout, that lizards normally have. How they've had the lizard-shaped body, but with a human-shaped, circular, almost like oval-shaped head. I like that, because I think that's if a human transformed, or at least looked like a lizard, or like a crocodile, they would still have a human-shaped head. They wouldn't suddenly grow a snout out of nowhere. I think that's particularly weird. So I like how they did that in Spider-Man, and I love that how they've done that in Origins, how he has like a flat face. Maybe like a bit of a mouth, but he has a flat face. He still looks human, just kind of scowly. I liked it. I liked how he looked in Origins. I mean, I liked how he looked in Asylum City as well, but I thought he looked particularly awesome in that first boss battle in Origins. The Darkman 1 Fest said, so you said you're tired of Batman. Sorry to break it to you, but there's a trailer for Arkham Knight. Here's a link to watch it if you get a chance. Yes, I've seen the trailer, and it does look awesome. He said I'm getting tired of Batman. It's I'm not gonna lie, that is actually pretty true. I mean, as of recording Origins right now, don't be wrong, I'm having a fun time playing the game, but I am kind of burnt out on Batman. I feel like all I've been playing over the last year is Batman. I'm really looking forward to recording Marvel Lego Superheroes. I'm really looking forward to that, to say something different, something new. But no, Origins is a great game, and I am having a lot of fun playing and recording Origins now. But yes, I am particularly burnt out on Batman at the moment. I felt I'd played it for quite some time, being obviously I did Asylum City and now Origins in a row. I feel like I'm kind of reaching my I'm running out of fuel in a sense when it comes to it, but that's not to say I'm not enjoying it. Right now I'm having a great time recording Origins, but once it's done, I'm not going to be sad to see it go, if you see what I mean. I think it's reached a point where I can have a break from it for the time being. But I was thinking that when I saw the trailer for Arkham Knight, when I first heard about it, I thought to myself, like, just a part of me inside my body was like, no. It was just like, not another one. It's like, it's a great game, but just not yet. I'm not ready for it yet. I'm still quite burnt out from the last three. And then I saw the trailer for it, and I watched the cinematic, and I was just thought to myself, well, that was just so pretty. I looked at it and I thought, well, now I have to play it. That just looked too damn good. So, yeah, obviously that's something I'm definitely going to be playing. Obviously that is just a cinematic trailer that hasn't actually showed you gameplay yet. But it's just, when I first, honestly, and I'm not just saying this, when I honestly first started watching the trailer, you see like the bridge with all the cars on it. I thought it was advertising the new Batman film. I honestly thought it was, and then I saw Warner Brother not Warner Brother Games. Was it Warner Brother Games? I'm not sure. Well, I saw something, and it said Games under it, and I realised it was the game. And I thought to myself, bloody hell, that was crazy. But obviously, it is next-gen console, and that was a cutscene. It's not actual gameplay, so that remains to be seen. But yeah, as much as I am slightly getting burnt out on Batman right now, I am looking forward to Dark Knight. It does look like it's going to be a good game. So a lot of the next questions, obviously, because I left this for so long, are now relating to Batman Arkham Knight. So I'll skim. If I don't read out your question, it's probably just because you're asking if I've seen the Dark Knight, the Arkham Knight announcement. So, yep, there's one here from Sean Scopa. I always say your name wrong. Again, saying, did I see the Arkham Knight trailer? But right at the end, you said, I can't wait for this game. It's a good thing it's developed by Rocksteady this time. So it is actually being produced by Rocksteady, like the original two did. That's good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I thought Warner Brothers did actually a really good job with the game. I don't see why everyone didn't like it, but it's good to see they're going back to Rocksteady again. Jim Jenks, what are your thoughts on Guardians Galaxy trailer, Arkham Knight game trailer? As I said, answered them previously. Gareth Vakarian said, I have 3 questions. Hopefully you will see this before making the next Captain's Quarters. Here it goes. Number 1, if BioWare asked you what new feature you would add in Mass Effect 4, what would you say? Well, again, this is like quite a few of the questions I've answered in previous Captain's Quarters and like previously in this, so I can't necessarily just come up with an answer off the top of my head when it comes to new features to add in. I don't know, it's like if I ever even got a job in the game industry, I wouldn't want to work on a Mass Effect game because I think that would ruin the game for myself working behind the scenes. I want it to be brand new. So when it comes to new features to add in the game, I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know what they could put in to make it better without adding too much in. One concern I always have with games is as games go on and they make sequels and trilogies and quads, is that as it goes on, they add and add and add and add more stuff to it, trying to make it better, and in the end it just becomes so complex it's not enjoyable, or at least for me, because I spend the whole time trying to calculate 1,000 different things at once. Like, okay, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do that, now I need to add this thing, now I'm going to add this item of clothing, and I think after a while it just gets so complex you're not actually enjoying yourself. It feels more like work. So when it comes to what they should add new into Mass Effect 4, honestly I don't know. If you've got any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments in the comment section. I can read them out next time, but off the top of my head, no, I've got no thoughts on the matter, to be honest. 2, if they asked you what you would change or take out because you didn't like it or agree with it, what would you say? What, out of Mass Effect 4? Now, if you're referring to Mass Effect 4, obviously I don't have an answer because they haven't brought out the game yet, so I don't know what I would change. If you're referring to 3, then I don't know really about 3. There's a few things. I would have just said take your time with it and don't rush it. And mainly it's just to do with bugs and little stuff like that. No, I had the main issue with 3. I felt a lot of stuff was kind of rushed. That's my main gripe I really have with 3. But yeah, if they asked you what you would change or take out because you didn't like or agree with it, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably just take their time, don't rush it, make it nice and polished like they did with 2. And that's what I like about Mass Effect 4 as well. One of them released a Twitter. They tweeted something a while ago saying, sorry we've got no new info for you on Mass Effect 4. That's because we're taking our time with it instead of trying to get answers and results. And that's something I was so happy to see. That now they don't have a deadline, it's not completing the trilogy. Mass Effect 4, they can take as much time as they want. And it's just so good to hear that they don't care if they get any new information out to us right now, because they're just focused on making the game good. And if that takes years, then so be it. That's what I want to see. Also, in that vein as well, I saw one of an interview with someone on Mass Effect 4, and they said that now, because it's on the next gen consoles and they don't have a time restraint and they can take as long as they like making it, they said they wanted to give everyone more depth to their characters, like visually. Like I say, as the humans, you've got people that are Chinese, black, Asian, white, different tans of skin, different facial features, some with high cheekbones, some with low, some with big foreheads. Everyone's got a different look to them. But then when it came to like the Solarians, the Sasari, the Turians, they might have had certain features, certain extreme features with different coloured paint, or maybe one had a big head where one had a small head, but there was huge differences. Their actual face structure was identical. You saw 2 Turians next to each other, unless they have different face paint, they pretty much look the same, and the same with the Asari. One thing they said in Mass Effect 4 that they're going to do, and they're really excited to do, is they're going to make every random character you meet, to a certain extent obviously, it can't be every random character, but a lot of random characters you meet, they're going to make them visually unique. So if there's one character, it might be a Solarian, they'll make one that may be a skinny face Solarian, one might have more of a squash face with dominant cheekbones, one might be quite fat and chubby, so you don't see many of the bone structure on their face. They're actually going to make a variety for the aliens as well, not just the humans. So, which is something I think they definitely needed. You had quite a few different face masks for the humans, but all the aliens look pretty much the same, other than colour. So, but yeah, I'm definitely glad to see that. I think that'll make things a lot better, that you can meet 3 Solarians or 3 Turians, and they will look completely different, but they're obviously Turians. I think that's definitely good. It will definitely make you care a lot more about the characters you meet throughout the game. I found that a lot, because other than your squad mates or main characters that obviously had a certain look to them, a lot of the randoms you'd walk past on the Citadel and in the game, I just didn't care about, because they were just a carbon copy of the one you met before them. So I think that's good. I think that's going to add a lot to the game. Something Mass Effect has always been strong for is individuality, and I think that's good. They're doing that in the visual sense as well now. And question number 3, last but not least, you mentioned in one of your game walkthroughs that a movie-based game are, let's say, pants. My question is, did you play Batman Begins at Star Wars Episode 3? Because I actually thought they were pretty good and fun games, for movie-based games at least. No, I haven't played Batman Begins and Star Wars Episode 3, so obviously I'm probably wrong when it comes to those 2 games. And I've got to say, Captain America game, obviously I did a walkthrough of it, I found that game very entertaining. And Amazing Spider-Man, very entertaining game. They're definitely changing it up now. They're definitely making movie-based games now a lot better. Maybe because they are aware of how big the games and movie industry is. They're the 2 predominant industries. in the whole world right now, I think games might actually be overtaking movies. So I think they're putting a lot more time and a lot more effort into it. But I'm talking about when you went back to the a lot older movies, like what's it called? Iron Man games. Oh, from what I've seen on YouTube, there are just abortions. They are so bad. And there's I can't think of any other games off the top of my head right now. But you see them all the time. I don't know if there are games for them, but like stuff like Ice Age and stuff like that. Where a game just comes out before the film even comes out, and I'm just thinking to myself, you've just rushed this game before the production of the film was even finished, just so people will buy it because they're excited for the film, or vice versa. And it's just, I don't know, I think it's kind of cheap. But obviously there are exceptions to that rules. I'm guessing Batman Begins and Star Wars 3 are two of those. Captain America and The Amazing Spider-Man, also good games. So, but and there are actually a few really old good games as well. Like I don't know if anyone's ever played the Hercules game, based off the Disney film Hercules. That game, as a child, I was addicted to that game. It was fantastic, so much fun. But also, Gareth Karen said, here is a question I forgot. Did you hear that Mass Effect 4 might be coming out on next generation consoles? And if so, what do you think about that? Obviously, I feel that definitely needs to come out next generation. I mean, they've come out now, and Mass Effect isn't coming out for the next couple of years. I think that'd be silly to bring it out just on Xbox 360 or PS3. That'd just be foolish. And also now, because it's on next generation, as I was saying previously, because obviously there's such an improvement in quality, they'll be able to now make all these new facial structures and body types and stuff like that. So I think I think the game is just gonna look so good, and now they don't have a time restraint either. They can put the time and effort the Mass Effect 1 and 2 had, but with the visual quality of something 3 or better. You know, so I'm so excited for Mass Effect 4. I feel like it's going to be like Mass Effect 1 all over again, just visually beautiful. That's how I kind of feel it's going to be, but not obviously on a grander scale. I think I remember hearing somewhere that someone said it wasn't going to be like galactic scenarios are on the line. Like, it's not going to be the fate of the galaxy on the line. It's going to be a lot more of a localized problem. It's still big problems, but it's not necessarily going to be like the whole galaxy is going to be dead if you fail, like Commander Shepard style. It might just be like that world or that country or that ship or something like that. But obviously we know nothing at this moment, so I'm just speculating. But no, I think Mass Effect 4 next generation consoles, it's a must. I think it just has to be done, to be honest with you. Giovanni said the Pirates of the Caribbean theme is also my favourite. I listen to it all the time. Also, if you could bring back one voice actor from Batman Arkham City and Origins for Arkham Knight, who would it be? The Pirates of the Caribbean theme is just fantastic. I bought my girlfriend for Christmas the Now That's What I Call Disney CD. Kind of like, because I know how much she loves the Disney films, and I'm partial to the old Disney films as well. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of like a present to her, to me as well, because since listening to it, I've fell in love with this CD. It's actually fantastic. Well, one of them is Pirates of the Caribbean, and anytime we're driving along, if that song comes on, she cranks it right up for me, and I just I tell you, it's like a man possessed. The theme is just so awesome. If there's ever actually like a world war, I swear to God, I'm going to sneak in like an iPod or a phone, and when we charge into battle, I would just be like, I can take them on by myself. It's such an awesome theme. But yeah, bit of a tangent there. If I could bring back one voice actor from Arkham City and Origins for Arkham Knight, it would have to be what's his name? Mark Hamill, who played the Joker in Asylum and City. I mean, that guy just knocked it out of the park. He was awesome. And if he could be in Arkham Knight, that would just make the game so fantastic. Masterkill492 said, was just known as the corporation at the time, mate. Oh, this was when I was talking about wrestling. Was just known as the corporation at the time, mate. Didn't become the corporate ministry till Undertaker joined. Glad I got you talking about wrestling. You seem to enjoy that, bro. When's the last time you watched wrestling? Yeah, I mean, I used to love wrestling. I was so obsessed with it when I was younger. Back in the days of 2000, probably just before 2000, we bought loads of old VHSs. VHSs? Is that how you say it? VHS videos. We bought loads of old videos back from about 97, 98 onwards. And then from about 2000, 2001, we started watching it, like we being me and my brother, started watching it then. 2001 Royal Rumble, I swear to this day, was the best Royal Rumble. One after that would probably be 2000, was just as awesome. But 2001, where it's like almost known as the hardcore battle royal because all those weapons in the ring and Kane just eliminating everyone. That was hands down the best Royal Rumble ever. Followed up by the best WrestleMania ever, WrestleMania 17. Best WrestleMania ever. The Rock, Stone Cold, right at the very end, with Vince McMahon coming down with like a shocking conclusion, which is just fantastic. You had the TLC 2. It was just a brilliant match. It's just, oh, it's so many good matches. Triple H, Undertaker. You had that, you had that funny triple threat with Kane, Big Show, and Raven for the Hardcore Championship. Oh man, that match was just so funny. It was so ridiculous. Big Show just chokeslamming Kane and just getting hit in the back with like, look, it was like only a plastic bin, but you saw the corner hit him right in the spine, and you just see Big Show's face, and it doesn't matter how big he is, you just know it hit that point of his spine where it would even make a grown man cry, and you could just see him just like, oh, that hurt, that really hurt. Oh man, that whole match was just ridiculous, but so funny. But yeah, for me, they were the glory days. And then you had the whole Invasion thing, which at the time I didn't have Sky Sports or anything like that, so all I could ever watch was Sunday Night Heat and get the sort of the updates from Raw or SmackDown. I could never watch the pay-per-views. I could only see the pictures and read what happened online whenever we were allowed to use our old dial-up internet connection for an hour. But so back then I didn't really get to see much of it, but I was just so excited for everything that happened. But the last time I actually watched wrestling, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I'd probably say about 2 or 3 years ago, I tried to get back into it again. I was watching Raw and SmackDown on YouTube, and I don't know, I tried getting back into it. I tried watching it for a good month or so, and I couldn't get into it. I just felt Raw and SmackDown each week was just the same thing over and over again. They were just, although they'd spend every week building up for the pay-per-view, and I know that's what they always did, but each week was just the same thing. It was almost like the same wrestlers were coming out as well, and it would just be over and over and over again, the same scenarios, and then always John Cena would somehow pull out the win, but no, he's still going to be a good guy about it, and it's just, I don't know. I tried getting back into it, but I couldn't. And every now and then I see it on TV and I'll watch it just because I still find it fun to watch. I still have the utmost respect for all the wrestlers, and I know a lot of people say it's fake and you don't get hurt, but I used to do wrestling. I joined a wrestling club, and you do get hurt. It really freaking hurts. But yeah, so I still have the utmost respect for the people who do it, and I still think it's really interesting and really talented, the people who do it and are successful in it and are good at it. So I still watch it every now and then, but I never choose to watch it. It's only if I happen to catch it on. So Cyber Nerd 797 said Walking Dead season 2 now. I'm not even kidding. Please do it ASAP. Well, as I said previously, mate, as soon as I can I will. As soon as I can. But yeah, just I'm very, very poor. That's all I can really say on the matter, I think. But with that being said, that is everything done and dusted. That is all the questions answered and gone through and everything done. So I think my voice is actually getting very sore and I'm getting very tongue-tied. So I'm going to call that one quits there. Quickly round up, as I said back at the start of the video, got a Captain Dave Facebook page, www.facebook.com/TheCaptainofDave. Link will be in the description if I remember, which if I've remembered now, I should hopefully remember to later. I also put a link in the video description to my tattoo for whoever it was who asked. Sorry, I forgot your name already. But yeah, whoever it was that asked, I'll put the link in the description for that. Hopefully I remember when I actually upload the video. But yeah, with that being said, it's been the Captain Quarters. If any of you guys have any more questions or comments that you want to ask me for next week's video, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you want to answer any of the questions that I've also answered this week, feel free to leave them down below. I love hearing your feedback. Or if you want to go over to Facebook and leave it on my Facebook page, and that way you can actually have a one-on-one verbal discussion with me right then and there. As I say, I can answer from my phone. So give me plenty of stuff to do. Not that I don't have enough stuff to do already, but feel free to go over there, have a conversation, chat with each other, chat with me. Do whatever you like, post videos, pictures, all that sort of stuff. Just have a good old time. But with that being said, my name's Captain Dave. This has been the Captain's Quarters, and I'll catch you guys later.